So if you have a Model 3 or Model Y, you have this giant screen. And for most people, honestly, reaching all the way across to change volume or anything like that is not necessarily a problem. But if you have really, really short arms, it may be. But it's really more of a preference. So we wanted to try this new product. It's a rotating screen, and what it does is it actually swivels the screen about 30 degrees. It does lower the screen about an inch or so as well. So it's a little bit, it could be a little bit disruptive for the 1.0 center console, but I do have a 2.0 right here. But the way it works is you're using a little mount that's able to rotate, and it's a very stiff rotate, so it's not loose or anything like that. So we're going to show you a step-by-step. But before we do, wanted to kind of explain the process so you understand what parts you'll be replacing and how this is going to be working. So I have all the parts right here. This is the bracket that comes with our kit, right? And this is the same color as your air conditioner or like the trim up there. And this makes sure that it's hidden. The earlier Gen 1 models, they used to put like a neoprene or something to hide it. It just didn't look that clean. And so this is a newer design where it does make it look a lot more clean. So this one attaches in the dashboard really, and then this one attaches to the actual screen, and this is the actual mount. And you could kind of see you have a massive bolt here. You're not going to be loosening this or anything like that, right? This is supposed to be really, really hard to move, and once you put the screen, you should be able to, you know, move it left and right? So essentially, you are going to be using existing screws that come from the actual screen, and then there's a screw that actually comes with the kit as well. So this is your main important part. This is made out of metal. It's super rugged. It's long lasting, and it's also powder coated as well, black. So on top of that, you have this, and this goes in the back of the I guess the screen swivel. So when you're swiveling, this just goes in the back. It's just an adhesive. It's optional if you want to put this on. And then in there, it pretty much comes with all the tools, right? So you got hex screws, trim tools, another one here, and you got the bolt to remove it. And then on top of that, you got some screws that it comes with, right? So 2 of them, so don't lose that. And it comes with 2 mounts, right? So this is an important thing to note. It depends on what mount you have, but you might either use this one or this one. And this is a temperature sensor, right? So the earlier, like for example, my 2018 Model 3 will be using this. And then the newer model, like this 2020 March Model Y model, is going to be using this, right? And it's pretty obvious which one you need to use, because once you see the temperature sensor, one won't fit. So we're going to be removing the screen, removing all of that. I'll be showing you how to do that, and then replacing it with some existing parts and some from the actual kit. And we're going to be doing a voiceover so that you can follow along, and hopefully this helps so you could have that rotation on your Model 3 and Model Y. So let's get started. So the first thing that you want to do is go to the display screen and put it on screen clean mode, and this will make sure that you don't mess with anything later on while you're working on it. So you want to use the trim tool provided, and you want to push that in all the way into the middle. There will be an indentation right in the center. It's really, really awkward angle, but once you push it in, what you want to do is pull it down. Remove the 2 screws that's holding the temperature sensor control. And once you get that off, you don't need that piece anymore, so you're gonna put it away. And then you want to make sure that you put the screws in a safe spot. There are 2 screws that's holding the mount, and you're gonna use the tool provided, and you're gonna loosen it up. Try to find it with your finger, and then you just kind of twist it until you feel the tension. Once you do that, the screen should be able to come out. Just be very, very careful. You're just gonna pull straight out, and it should come out. You wanna grab your microfiber towel, and you wanna put it right where the center console is. That way you're not damaging your screen when you're putting it down. The next thing you want to do is you're going to loosen up the hex screw that holds the mount to the screen. And you just loosen that up, just 2 screws on each side, and then it should pop right off. Make sure you put the screws somewhere safe so that you don't lose it or go anywhere inside. Now that you have access to the connector, there is a white protection. Push one side, and then you're just going to pull up, and that'll allow it to just slide up, So you want to grab the Phillips screw and you're going to push the tab in. It'll stay pushed in, and that's when you know you can pull it out. You want to be gentle. You don't want to pull on the cable, but you want to hold the purple cable connector. And once that's off, you want to put it in a really safe place on top of microfiber or somewhere soft. We're going to go ahead and connect the temperature control sensor. And there are two brackets. Mine is a 2020 Model Y, so that it uses the one with the holes. That one's for an older Tesla model, like my 2018. And once you line it up, you're going to use the existing screws, and you're just going to use Phillips screw and then tighten it. Once that's tightened, it's time to put on the bracket. It just slides right in, and the bottom part is where it swivels. You're going to use the screw that came with it. And you just want to hand tighten it first. And once it's tight, you want to use a tool provided, and you're going to tighten it. Before you tighten both of them on each side, I'd like to tighten it just a little bit, and then once both of them are fully in, then I would really tighten each of them. That way you have even pressure as you're tightening it. This is what holds the bracket in place, so you go pretty tight when you are tightening the bracket into the car. You want to wiggle it around just a little bit just to make sure that it's steady, and then you want to put the plastic trim piece in, and then there's actually two pieces, and you want to put both of them through the cable. And you're just going to align it, and then once you align it, you want to put it all the way in because it'll be very difficult to put the connector in with that in the way. So let's go ahead and connect all the cables first. Push it in and you'll hear a click, and then we're going to put the white tab, the same way that it came in. So just push that in, and that'll also click in. And then now you can actually mount it, again, using the existing screws that came with the actual screen. So we're going to mount the screen, and mounting the screen just kind of fits in, so just push it in and you'll feel it going. And you can see at the bottom of the holes, you just line it up, and it kind of goes in a weird angle, so just so you know. And again, the same thing for this. You don't want to tighten one side like super strong. Try to have it even, and then after that, tighten both at the same time. You can see that as I'm tightening, the screen actually goes up slightly. Once it's pretty tight, you can test the swivel screen at this time. Don't go all the way since the trims aren't really in place. And then now it's time for us to clean this up. You're going to make sure the trim aligns to the bottom first. This will help a lot. One thing I try to do is I try to line the top, and that just doesn't work. So once the bottom is really in place, you can just push the tabs. There's 3 tabs on the top, and it'll just push it into place. But again, before you do that, just make sure the bottom is already aligned. You're going to just put the temperature sensor, and it just slides in from the top, and then it should kind of click in. And there's no screw or anything for this. This is just a connector hider. So as you're swiveling, you'll kind of see that this hides the cable, and it's just 3 adhesives. All you have to do is remove the adhesive and then just slide it in, and this just makes it a little bit neater. This is optional, but you can use that. And once you're done, all you have to do is get out of screen clean mode, and then you now can move the screen 30 degrees left or right. So that's pretty much it, guys. Not too bad. And now I can rotate it to about 30 degrees myself or the passenger. Couple things to disclose when you're doing this. I like using 2 hands. You don't want to stress one area. You can, but I just like using 2 hands. It's really sturdy, so it actually doesn't move, right? It's very sturdy. And if it is not sturdy, it means you just need to tighten it just a little bit more when you're doing your screws. Other thing I would like to disclose, like I said earlier, is it does lower the screen slightly, about 1 inch. So if you do have a 1.0 center console, it will hit that. So if you use that area a lot, it may not be for you. But honestly, this is a pretty easy mod. Just make sure you do it very, very carefully since you are removing the screen. If you have any questions about this or installation process, or really anything about doing yourself, do yourself stuff, let us know in the comments below. But we'll see you next time.